Welcome to the office. Let's talk. So, finding your first client it can feel impossible. You've got your degree, your software skills, maybe even your license, and no one's calling. The truth is, your first client, it rarely comes from a perfect website or a cold email. They usually come from you, from the relationships, the reputation, and the trust you've built over the long time you've been working, long before you've ever printed a business card. So today, let's break down how to actually find your first client, what kinds of work makes sense to start with, and how to turn one small opportunity into a real career. All right, let's get into it. So your first project will almost always come from your existing network. Not strangers, not your Instagram profile. It's going to be people who already know and trust you. That might be a friend who wants to remodel their kitchen. Chances are it's probably going to be a family member. Maybe they're starting a small business. Maybe they're expanding their house. Or it could even be a contractor you met during an internship. Maybe it's a classmate whose parents are building a vacation cabin. The key is letting people know what you do. Don't assume they already know you're an architect or designer. Send them a short email, post a project photo, or just tell people in conversation, hey, I'm starting to take on some small design projects. You don't need to beg for work. You just need to plant the seed. Most people want to help. They just don't know how unless you tell them. So be upfront with them. In your first projects, they're probably not going to be glamorous. It's a backyard studio, a small tenant finish out, or a bathroom renovation. One of my first projects was designing a mailbox. It starts that small, and that's okay. What matters is treating it like a real project. Use a contract, even if it's short. Charge something, even if it's modest. And create drawings that look professional. Chances are, you've been in an architecture office, you've been working for a while, so you know what professional drawings look like. Create your own templates. Make a title block. Make sure everything is on a title block. Because you're not just designing a small space. You're learning how to communicate, how to coordinate, and deliver something that someone's paying for. So every small project, treat it as a test run for the systems you'll use later when the bigger opportunities come. One of the fastest ways to find your first client, it's probably going to be through contractors or builders. Builders get calls all the time from homeowners who might say, we don't have drawings yet, we just want a price. If you build relationships with a few good contractors, they can probably refer you to those early phases. And no, you don't need to walk onto a job site uninvited. I definitely would not recommend doing that. But go meet builders where they are. Go to local connections, ask around, attend your Chamber of Commerce luncheons. Builders associations have meetings and community networking events. But a simple introduction, like, hey, I'm an architect just starting out. If you ever have a client who needs help with drawings, I'd love to collaborate. That can go a long way. Because those small introductions often turn into your first referrals. I've been in business for over a decade, and most of my work comes from referrals. But you don't need a long list of already built projects to show your ability. Chances are you're starting out, you don't have that yet. So you have to use the things you have right now. So use your student work, competitions, personal projects, things you've already done, but reframe them in a professional way. Instead of labeling something Studio 5 project, call it concept for a small urban housing unit. And instead of showing the process, maybe this is the time where you start showing a more finalized version, showing your thought process and your problem solving and your design sensibility, but presenting it in such a way that is understandable and usable by the client or the contractor, and not necessarily architect that is going to be hiring you. You don't want to use big architecture lingo. You want to make it understandable for everybody. You can even create one or two self-initiated projects that match the kind of work you're looking for. Design a small house, a retail concept, a cabin, render them nicely, put them together on a nice document, and present it professionally. That gives potential clients a sense of your taste and skill, even before you've done your first build. But not every offer is going to be worth taking. Some people are going to want free design work. Some are going to say, hey, we're just looking for ideas. Here's my advice. Never do free work, even when you're starting out. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't need to charge as if you're a seasoned architect, but you do have to charge something. Even a small fee sets the tone of professionalism. It says your time and knowledge, they have value. Know your worth. You can be generous with your time, but never give away your expertise. That said, early on, it's okay to say yes strategically to projects or clients that help you build momentum, create good photos, or establish trusted relationships. Every small project leads to experience, testimonials, visibility, and that's what builds trust with the next client. But here's a few red flags I look for when I'm evaluating whether a project's a good fit for us. 1, am I excited about it? Do I want to do it? Early on, you may not have that luxury. You may have to say yes to things that maybe you're not as excited about. 2, if a client comes in and uses the word just, I just need a set of permit drawings. I just need a floor plan. I just need you to draw out this concept. That shows that they already devalue what you're doing, that they only want the bare minimum. You may have to do things early on that are just smaller versions of what you would do later, but that's a red flag that the client doesn't respect you. And even if you could build a long-term relationship with somebody like that, do you really want to? I look for projects that are going to be good relationships with the client. If they come in and they're already berating their last 5 architects that they talked to, and now they're trying to come to you, that usually says a lot that maybe they're not somebody that I want to work with if the last 5 architects didn't want to work with them. So what happens when somebody hears your name? What's next? Well, they should be able to Google you and find something. Nowadays, it's really easy to make a simple website. Make sure you have a LinkedIn profile, because that's how a lot of business works, or an Instagram page that shows your work, because architecture is a visual industry. You don't need a polished brand or a fancy logo yet, but just a clean page with a few images. Maybe a short description of who you are, what kind of work you do, and most importantly, how they can contact you. Most clients, they're not going to compare you to big firms. They know what they're getting into. They just want to know that you're real, reliable, and reachable. Are you somebody that is going to put the time in to do the bare minimum? But if you want more help with sort of starting the business side of it, branding your business, how to position yourself for the right clients, I'm going to make another video on that. Just let me know what you might need specifically. So that's it, getting your first client. Your first client's not going to come from luck. They'll come from effort, putting yourself out there, but staying professional and treating every opportunity like it matters. So reach out. Let people know what you do. Show up where builders and clients are. And when that first project comes along, give it everything you got. All right, that's it. Let's get back to work.